Hello everyone and welcome to System Hoppers, an actual play podcast. We try to show off a wide variety of tabletop role-playing games, but also because we can just never decide what we want to play here. My name's Mark, and I will be your host, and also tonight I'll be stepping into the role of Keeper of Arcane Lore, as for our first set of episodes I'm joined by my friends Josh, Laura and Steve, as we'll be playing Call of Cthulhu. So what is Call of Cthulhu? To give a quick rundown, Call of Cthulhu is a game that could probably best be described as a survival horror role-playing game, based on the Cthulhu mythos written by H.P. Lovecraft. Originally released by Chaosium in 1981, and with its most recent 7th edition having released in 2014, the players will be playing the role of investigators, who will be exploring, delving, and uncovering the horrors of the Cthulhu mythos over an investigation scenario. The real challenge of Call of Cthulhu, though, isn't always defeating the evils you find, but sometimes just escaping and getting away with your sanity intact at the same time can be a positive resolution for your characters. So, I'll give you a brief introduction on how the game's basic mechanics work. The players will have stats and skills that are all represented by different numbers, and when trying to do something where the outcome may be uncertain, they will roll percentile dice and have to roll under that skill. So for example, if you have a listen skill of 60, you would need to roll under a 60 on a D100 to pass a listen check. That might let you eavesdrop on a distant conversation, or to hear a shambling creature that's coming up behind you. This also means that skills equate directly to the percentage of being able to pass it, so the higher the skill, the better. Your level of success can matter as well. If you manage to roll under half your skill, so in our 60 listens example, under a 30, that would be what's called a hard success, and if you roll under a fifth, so 12, that would be known as an extreme success, which may give extra bonuses here and there. The players also have luck points that they can spend as they want to buy their way to success if they don't roll as well as they want to. So going back to our listen 60 example again, if a player unfortunately rolled a 65 and needs 60, they can spend 5 points of their own luck to act as if they rolled a 60 and succeed. However, their luck is a stat on its own, and spending it on rolls early might mean that you aren't so lucky later on, or you might find that your luck turns on you a bit later down the line in moments where you really need it. Players can also elect to push rolls when they fail, and this is just another one of the little systems that makes Call of Cthulhu so much fun. This allows them to try the roll again after they've failed, but with them trying something new. The catch here is if they make their roll, all is well, but if they fail the roll a second time, there is always a consequence to their failure. Part of the fun of running the game as a keeper is to try and convince your players to push rolls, as they will never fail to heighten the drama in what is already a very tense situation. The final thing I should also touch on is sanity. As the investigators find disturbing things, see horrific sights, or meet creatures that are not of this world, they are going to risk damage to their bodies, but also their sanity. This is another stat check where they need to roll under their current sanity or risk losing more. And if they lose too much sanity, or too much from a single event, they can risk slipping into the depths of insanity, where they may find themselves acting peculiarly, violently, or maybe just trying to run for their lives as they succumb to madness. I won't spoil things too much here, but it's a very fun mechanic, and it's not uncommon for players to survive a scenario, but then have to manage the mental trauma of what they've endured in their downtime between investigations, to try to rationalise the irrational, or maybe just convince themselves it was just their imagination, a trick of the light, or maybe they just had a bit too much to drink. That's all I think you need to know to get started now. If you were interested and want to find out more, you can download the Quick Start rules for 7th edition for free from Chaosium's website, and it also contains a free scenario called The Haunting, which is perfect for first time players and keepers if you wanted to give it a try. I would highly recommend giving it a look. The scenario we'll be playing today is called The Dare. Set in 1980s America, the players will all be playing local kids who all go to the same school and have all been dared by Roger, the local bully, to spend the night in the old Barnaker place, an abandoned house on the edge of town, on Halloween night. It should be worth noting that despite the player characters all being kids, we were playing the rated R variant that comes with this scenario, and this is still a horror game, so it may involve children being in dangerous situations, so do consider this a content warning. If you're still here, we plan to answer the age-old question of what is worse, Lovecraftian entities or the local school bully. Also, we may get the rules wrong occasionally, so we'll endeavour to do our best where we can. Finally, As a horror game, I have spoken to all my players individually beforehand to discuss lines and veils in terms of content, and we do play with an X card rule just in case players aren't comfortable with any subject nature, and I give them a chance to voice any concerns. I do think it's important to have these safety tools in place, especially when playing a horror game, and it also means I can let you know that the players were fine with the scenario, and whatever perilous situations they found themselves in. But I won't keep you any longer, and I'll let you find out for yourself now as we meet the players and play Call of Cthulhu. So I'm joined here today, I'm Mark, I am your keeper of arcane lore. I'm joined here by Steve.
Hello.
I'm joined here by Josh.
Yo!
And I'm joined here by Laura.
Hello.
And today we are going to be playing The Dare, written by Kevin A. Ross and published by Sentinel Hill Press. I think it's quite interesting, actually, before we start, because you've all actually got kind of very different experiences with Call of Cthulhu. Steve, your experience with Call of Cthulhu?
I've played, 6 or 7 one-shots at this point. I've had characters make it through sessions, a couple very much not make it through sessions. I've got a good bit of experience with this now. lots of death.
I'm inclined to say you're like the most experienced, but that doesn't always mean like...
Probably doesn't mean much for Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah. Laura, because you've only played the once, haven't you?
I've dabbled. I've completed a game once and a couple of them unfinished, but yeah, I've only had one full game, so pretty inexperienced with it.
You have 100% survival rate, though.
I do.
And Josh, kind of coming around to you, you've not played Call of Cthulhu before.
I've talked Lovecraftian with you a lot, Mark, but I've never played a Call of Cthulhu game. So I'm aware of what Cthulhu is and what to expect, but I've never actually played the tabletop RPG.
This is kind of an introductory Call of Cthulhu adventure. What it's all about is just kind of everyone's going to be playing kids between 11 to 13, and Roger Simmons, the local bully and ne'er-do-well, has double dog dared you all to spend the night on Halloween in a creepy old house on the edge of town. So you are just trying to generally kids that may have been picked on by Roger.
He double dog dare us, so
he did double dog dare you as well. And otherwise, he'll tell the whole school you're chickens.
I want to be a chicken.
So, do you want to start with Josh? Did you want to start?
I can start.
Yeah.
I'm Richie. I'm just a normal kid. I not really good or bad at anything. I'm just kind of middle of the road. The Mario of the group, if you will. The jack of all trades. I'm a great friend to everyone, apart from to Roger, because no one likes Roger. He seems to be literally the only person who's just not my pal, and I have sweets.
Did you want to introduce your character as well, Laura? Because I don't think we...
Yeah, I'm Charlotte Bruckner, and I'm the weirdo. So I've just moved to a new school. Not many people know me. I often sit in the corner and write in my book and listen to music on my mixtape. So yeah, I'm just a loner, really. I like ghosts and vampires and weird stuff.
And Steve?
I am Harry. I'm just going with the stereotypical nerd character. Imagine a 80s nerd. That's it. All of them at the same time. Every single 80s nerd character in one go.
Every nerd all at once. Yeah, it's Halloween night, so we can go through costumes if people want. I mean, what are you dressed as?
What about that?
I thought I had sweets because I was just I carry sweets with me.
Oh no, you've been... you just had a bag of candy.
You just carry sweets around with you, just on the off chance.
I thought I was like the doctor. I thought I was going to be like, would you like a jelly baby or something? But no. Is it 1989 is the year?
1986.
86.
86.
Oh,
what definitely didn't look that up so we could check what year certain movies were out for costume purposes.
I'm going to be dressed as Link because that's the year Zelda came out.
Wow.
Like 8-bit Link.
8-bit Link.
Oh, you've given me the worst. I'm dressed as David Bowie from Labyrinth. You've given me this option. Why would I not take it? Massive codpiece and everything. Right.
Oh no.
Go big or go home. I mean,
Comically large.
I didn't mean go big or go home like that, but then it worked.
I'm gonna be something scary as I do scary stuff for my character. I'll have a Mike Myers look going on then.
Mike Myers or Michael Myers?
Why?
Baby drive all over again.
Yeah, baby.
I'll be Michael Myers.
Like Halloween one, Michael Myers.
Yeah, Halloween Michael Myers.
I love it.
With the
And do you
mask,
want it
maybe
to-
I'll take my mask off later.
It is Halloween night in this creepy old, well, I guess just Midwestern town near Massachusetts. Halloween falls on a Friday this year, and you've had to deal with Roger at school, the local bully. He makes everyone's lives hell, but he's kind of given you this dare as kind of an out. Quite simply, if you're able to spend the night in the creepy Barnaker house on the edge of town, spend the whole night in there and come through, he'll essentially leave you alone for the rest of the school year. I mean, he bullies a lot of people, but it's kind of a deal you can't really pass up as well. And also, if you don't do it, he'll fundamentally make sure he'll make sure you're known as chickens throughout the entire school. And so, that's something you probably don't want either. Did anyone, because you've had a bit of time, I assume Josh from his bag of candy has gone trick-or-treating as well. If you're all in costume, feel free to have done that before as well. Is there anything anyone wants to have kind of done before you came out tonight?
To ask, because we're talking about like possessions and stuff. If I'm dressed as Link, I was going to say, should I have like a little cardboard sword and shield? I feel like that might come in handy one day. Or maybe I might have a plastic sword and a cardboard shield. Would that be okay?
I just mean as well, because you've got obviously your parents don't know you're out here and you're doing this. So I assume it's different stories of maybe I'm staying at a friend's tonight, but you'll have had time to prep as well if there's anything you urgently want to bring with you. You would briefly know that the Barnaker house, as it's called, it's the house you stay away from on the edge of town. If you kick your ball over the garden fence, you don't go to get it. It's just a creepy, empty house. So Josh, you said kind of a cardboard sword and shield. Anyone else? Anything else?
I guess I'd be bringing some kind of rubber knife, as my outfit might have.
Yeah. I mean,
Just a really cheap one, one that bends.
Dave?
What does David Bowie use in Labyrinth?
He has a weird orb.
I will have a weird orb.
So the Barnaker house, as you know it, sits on the edge of town. It is within an easy walk of all of your homes, but on this kind of, as you get further out of town, the houses are few and far between, a bit more sparse. Streetlights are infrequent and dim, and a lot of the houses in the area are just little to run down. Not necessarily because it's a poor neighbourhood, but more just lack of maintenance. Houses are kind of boarded up just because no one's ever lived or renovated them. People that do live here keep to themselves, and you wouldn't know anyone that lived here. It's about 8 p.m. Enough time for you to have done a bit of trick-or-treating if you wanted. Carrie and Charlotte, do you guys know each other?
I'll know you from a class. So
Yeah, no,
maybe I know you
each
from
other.
math
Right.
class, or maybe we're in lots of classes together.
Okay, I'll say you spot each other as you're walking up.
We've
But
seen each other.
the house itself is a 2-story house. It has a little kind of is it a cupola? Has kind of a little bit like a towery bit that towers just over the rest of the house. But it is 2 stories with this kind of extra segment that goes a bit higher than a second story, kind of like an attic-y space. The houses are all the windows are all boarded up, and there is an iron gate going around it at waist height. At the very end of the street, kind of where the gate ends, is a big telephone pole with a poster stuck on it or something. As you guys walk up, though, you can see on the front porch, kind of sat there, legs dangling, you can see a kid, a stockily built kid. His hair's kind of shaved on the sides, but he has almost a mullet in the back. He is wearing a big jumpsuit, a big grey jumpsuit, and you can see on his left arm is a very crudely drawn what you assume is supposed to be the Ghostbusters logo. On the back of his, as he sees you, this is Roger, of course. He picks up and he looks at you, and just kind of glares at you as you walk over. As you hear him shout, "Dweebs!" as he walks over to the gate to meet you.
Visibly flinch as he says it.
Yeah, I sort of look down and try and keep walking.
As you get to the gate, he hops the gate and meets over to meet you. You can see on the back of his jumpsuit, he's written the word Ghostbuster, but it says Goostbuster.
Someone's got to correct that.
It is Goost and then BOOSTER.
Goose booster.
You can also see back on the porch is a denim like a blue denim jacket that he was wearing as well. But obviously, he's taken this off. As he walks over, he sees you two coming, and there was me thinking you dweebs weren't even going to show up.
Has anyone told you that your shirt is spelt wrong.
Does anyone tell you like a nerd walks over and gets like right in your face?
I look down the floor. Yes.
Rich, if you want, or Josh, I'll say at this point you hear this before you see it.
I just kind of pretend I didn't hear it. I just like, hey guys, how are we doing?
Actually, Josh, can you make me a notice stuff roll?
Oh yes, success.
Success. As you're walking around, you come around like the telephone pole.
Right.
You immediately look over and you can see the large, like Roger's like he's 13 because he had to repeat the year at school basically when most of you are 12.
Right.
But as you see this and kind of look on, you kind of cringe a little and you look to your left. And as you look to your left, you actually realise that the telephone pole you've just passed has a poster very recently stapled to it.
Oh.
You look over and you just see this, and it kind of catches your eye as being kind of bizarre.
So it's a missing poster for a child called Joey Snyder. Cool if you know anything, underlined twice. And there's a number there. But yeah, so I guess I spot that and note that as a thing.
Just you've never heard of this kid, but you're just like, oh, that's concerning.
Sounds like we're in a great neighborhood.
Yeah, with that you kind of see, and then your attention snapped back to Roger giving Harry a hard time, and he's quite a loud kid. You can definitely hear.
So I just kind of rock up and just try and pretend I haven't heard anything and be stupidly positive to try and get through the situation. Hey everyone, how we doing?
There's more of you nerds. Roger laughs.
I just go, ha ha.
I'm just gonna look at you with like eyes of crying for help. Like...
I'm looking at you with relief that there's other people here, I guess.
I'm looking at everyone else in confusion of how to handle this situation.
You see, as Roger kind of looks over, he kind of takes stock that the three of you are here and goes, well, I mean, I thought more people would show up, but I'm glad we got the dweeb, the freak, and hey, Rich, how are you?
I don't know how to class myself either, it's fine.
Well, I guess it's good that you came, because, if you didn't, I'd have to rearrange your face. He kind of makes a fist at you.
I kind of go backwards in shock.
I will also visibly flinch.
It's not at all.
I assume Roger's the most violent with you anyway.
Oh dear.
It's going to be fun. You can see then, as you're kind of looking around and kind of like, as you kind of take stock, you can see there's this waist-high fence and then it goes back to the house. And Roger kind of cracks his knuckles as he leans back on this like rusted fence. Well, now that you're here, and I mean, I'm glad you showed up and all, but this doesn't prove anything because you've not actually, stayed in the house yet. The rules are simple. I've hidden a key in the house. I've actually hidden one of the house keys in there that I found. If you guys can find that and actually use it, you can leave once I lock the door when we're in. But that's not going to happen because, we know you're all freaks and babies.
And clarify, because I do need to make sure I'm back at like a sensible time. We're not expected to stay in here overnight, right? Like, we're going to be able to leave.
You're expected to find you. Yeah, of course. If you don't find the key, you'll stay here till 6. I'll let you out at 6 a.m. at sunrise.
But you're going to leave us alone,
it's
right?
6 a.m.
No, I'm staying in there too to make sure you guys don't chicken out.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, that's.
How do we
fine.
chicken out if you've locked us in?
You might
point.
You might dig way out with your weird mole hands. You kind of laugh at you mole hands. You've never heard him call you this.
I will look visibly confused at my own hands.
I look visibly confused at your hands.
He's just developed a new insecurity for me. Thank you.
Anyway, I think that you're wasting time, so let's get moving. And with that, you kind of see he hops the fence. And he starts walking towards the porch, but you can see kind of from the house itself, like the plants are overgrown in this big kind of like in the backyard. The grass is unkempt, and like up to places it's about like 2 or 3 feet high from where it just hasn't been kept. You can see weeds and kind of bushes that have been kind of strawn once. Well, was probably once a nice house. How are you kind of following suit as you kind of try the gate and Roger has not unlocked it?
Well, I probably.
No.
Wait. So sorry. So am
We're
I on the other
outside
side
the
of the gate, right?
No, it's like a waist-high gate, but Roger just hopped it.
Oh, okay. I've got to awkwardly
Try and open.
Probably take me a bit of time. It's like.
Yeah, what you can kind of do, the gate itself is locked. You can attempt from your perspective, you guys can attempt a gym class roll to try and just hop the fence as well. or it looks like you could probably maybe push the gate and give it like you can maybe try something on the gate as well.
Okay.
Like it's not so much locked as it is stuck.
What would be like not fix stuff, but brawl? Could I brawl with the gate?
You brawl with the gate.
Yeah.
Throw hands with the gate.
I'm gonna punch it open.
I'll let you roll a fix stuff roll on it if you wanted.
Alright. Oh.
Oh,
So I guess I try and push the gate, and so I failed. I'm too weak to push it open.
Would you like me to try and look at the gate?
Please.
I will try looking at the gate, I guess, with my weird mole hands.
Yeah, you can make me a fix stuff roll.
Yay!
You succeed, eh? That's a fix. That's a success. I'll say, as you look at it, then you realise there is a lock on the gate, but it's not actually so much rusted shut as like you reach over and as you yank on the lock, it just like snaps off. More fixing it through that, and then you push the gate as it just creaks like open, and leading you a straight walk up to the house.
I was like halfway trying to climb the fence, and then that happened, and I just gotta come down and like kind of just brush myself off and just awkwardly follow after you two.
As you walk over, you see on the front porch in front of the house, Roger's just kind of stomping his feet around, and he's kind of not really paying attention to you at the minute. As he hears the gate open, looks over, he goes, "Oh, you dweebs can take a look if you want before we go in." And he kind of points to the door, but you can also see around, like, there's a path that goes to the back of the house as well.
We'll take a look around.
Right. I before we even like start looking around, guys, what have you heard about this house? Like, does anyone know anything we should be aware of?
I've heard no one's been in for years and years.
Yeah, it does look pretty old.
It's old.
Do we have like? I want to see. Can I roll like a check for like local knowledge?
You can make me an intelligence check. I will say as well, sorry, while you're doing that, in terms of the house itself, you can see the house is in poor condition. The paint is peeling and absent, and the slate roof is like missing slates. Windows are all shuttered, and the shutters are held in place, kind of like nailed in place on the front of the house as well.
Okay, I'm gonna roll an intelligence check. Success.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you want? Just kind of general rumors and stuff.
Just like, is there anything we should be aware of? Like, is this a creepy
Story.
house? Have I got any stories I can tell my team so we can like be aware of it?
I'll tell you then, just generally. This is before your time. Like, as far as you're, what, 11, 12? You've always known this house has been empty. You do vaguely remember asking your dad about it once, though. You do remember, actually, like, this house hasn't always been empty. Like, it's always been the talk of the town. Not talk of the town so much as parents have told kids to stay away from it. You'd briefly remember there were a family that lived here, like, maybe about 20 years ago. And as you're kind of raking your brain over this, you think they were called the Briggs family.
Right, okay.
About 20 years ago, this Briggs family, from what you remember, like, they're not here now and people don't really talk about it.
So I explained that to the group so everyone knows the same information I know.
You'd remember people talking about, like, maybe in hush whispers, or like they'd stop talking about it if they knew you were listening. But from what you vaguely remember, there was a family called the Briggs family here, and then there was an incident of some kind, and they're not here anymore.
Okay, cool. That's good to know.
Yeah.
It's good to know. So where do we start?
Why don't we just go straight in and find the key so we don't have to be here for like too long? Because I do not like this at all.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that's a good idea.
We've also got to be in the house with him, so do you really want to spend too long in there with him?
No. That's
Let's
good.
get this over and done with so you can leave us alone.
Yeah.
As he walks over, as he sees you walking up to the porch, then
Yes.
as you walk over, you see kind of like a visible kind of look of like slight disappointment on Roger's face. Are you guys sure you don't want to check the shed out in the back? There was a big hornet's nest in there I found.
Why would we want to check that out?
Does it look really cool? And it was like an old hornet's nest, and he looks very like distraught.
We just want to find the key, if that's okay. We're here for that.
And you
Guys
can go
are
look at
no
the
fun.
hornet's nest later. Like
No,
when we
I
get
have to
the
lock you
key.
nerds in.
Oh,
Yeah, but when we find the key, we can go look at the hornet's nest.
And he looks visibly like distraught. I should say at this point as well, it's there's a bit of light, but it is kind of starting to get dark now. Of course,
Okay.
but I said it's 5 o'clock-ish. You can also see it is quite cloudy in the sky. Like not quite rain yet, but the weather doesn't look like it's going to get much better.
I kind of see this as a situation where I might be able to try and I don't know, win our bully over here? Because he seems very keen about his hornet's nest.
Curious about the shed, and yeah, he seems.
He absolutely wants to push someone into the hornet's nest.
But
It's not
I think
active, right? Maybe.
And see, you have that knowledge of him, but I don't think Rich does. Rich is just like, oh, that's, he seems like he really cares about something, which isn't like being a bully. And, maybe see a nice side to that, maybe a very naive side to that. And I'm like, oh, well, maybe if we get out early, we can go and look at the hornet's nest with you if you want, if that sounds like something you want to do.
Just go in the house.
Oh,
We've
okay.
successfully ruined his day. We've made this awful for him.
Well, I mean, I don't feel too bad about that. He is a bully. I think Rich feels bad about it, though.
As you walk up onto the front porch as well, you hear there's 2 steps going up and it creaks, but like each one creaks as like the wood is just like warped and like dead leaves everywhere and kind of like leafless shrubs all kind of on the side of it as well. And yeah, the house looks pretty nasty. You see Roger reaches into his pocket, into his jumpsuit, and takes out a large key as he unlocks the front door. Let's go then, come on. And he moves in. As he opens the front door, before you even walk in, you can smell like it just like stinks of damp inside the house. Like it looks like the room itself, it looks like it was made of, like it clearly looked nice at one point, but it's just kind of warped, damp and musky and pretty nasty. It looks like it has electricity, but you assume it probably doesn't work.
So, is there enough light for us to see naturally at the moment?
Yeah, it's still well lit. There's still enough light at the minute. It's not a problem. And as you walk in, you see Roger. Actually, you see a small bag. You see Roger. Roger reaches in and takes out a lighter, and you can see actually as you're walking in, he actually starts the light, and he's put candles sequentially around the house.
Oh, okay.
Some of them are already lit, but some of them it looks like he's stuck down. And as that, he already kind of starts lighting them. As he kind of sees you look at him, he's like, "There's no point of sitting here in the dark, is there?"
I'm like, thanks for lighting the candles. That's nice.
Oddly thoughtful.
And as you see, like these candles, like they're quite long candles. Looks like he's clearly set this up in advance. Like they're not like store-bought candles, but like it looks like however many are around the house at the minute, there's probably like a good like couple in each room. He's clearly had to set this up, as much as he probably wouldn't admit it.
Oh, you've really put a lot of effort into this.
But no, I haven't. As he says that, he walks past. He shoulder checks you, Charlotte. He like hits you with his shoulder as he walks by to get to the door. With that, he pushes the front door shut, reaches in and locks the door, and you hear just the lock like slam across, like click, realizing you're stuck in here with him. As he does that, he puts the key back in his overalls, and then as he goes to do it, he shows you it again. You get a good look at this key he's holding. So this is a skeleton key I swiped from my dad, but the actual key is in the house. Not that you dweebs are ever going to find it, but if you do, unlock the door and you can leave.
How does your dad have a key to this place?
I don't know. He got drunk and I stole it from him. It's a skeleton key. It opens everything.
Opens I don't think that's real.
Everything.
It's a skeleton key.
That's not how.
Is it made of
I
a real
found one of
skeleton?
those in Zelda. Like that sounds pretty legit. Yeah.
He gets it and he kind of points at you. For a smart kid, you're a smart kid. You're not very smart, are you?
Is it made of like real skeleton, or is it like?
Made of skeleton. I don't know. And with that, you kind of hear him stomp through, and you hear him walk. He walks through as he walks through into the kind of what looks like it was a dining room off to the left. As you hear a door open, and then you hear a door slam, and keep kind of leaving you alone for a moment.
Is he off? He's gone.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
I think that went well.
I've as well as it could go. Do we stick as a team, or how do we do this?
As you listen out in the house as well, you can hear as the wind from like that's picking up outside hits the house, it almost creaks and moans, like not necessarily with Roger's footsteps, but just generally the ambient noise is just this like creaking and moaning of wood, and kind of shutters and like hinges rusting and kind of slamming back and forth. It is like ambiently, like, even though it's like nothing's happening and there's nothing going on, it's not ever really quiet.
I think we should probably stick together.
Let's not split up at all.
Rather
He's
not.
in the house. I feel like if I walk around on my own, I'm just gonna get hit a lot.
Yeah, let's stay. That's a good idea. Okay.
He might have hornets. I don't want to take that risk.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I don't think he could get hornets over to you and not get stung himself. So.
I don't want to take that chance.
I understand
He
that.
may have come prepped. He's really prepped out.
He seems
this
very
area with
prepared for
candles,
this.
so I don't know what else he's got in store.
He's good with candles. Yeah, that's true. Does anyone want a sweet? I hand out
Yes.
my bag. Okay. It's like pick and mix stuff. So
What have you got?
if I get some fried eggs in there,
Ooh.
Yeah.
cola bottles, jelly babies, all the good ones.
I'll take a colour ball.
Ah, there you go. All yours.
Take an egg.
One egg for you.
Delicious egg.
Renewed and ready with vigor. As you get a good look, these candles that Roger set up are like a kind of weird, like off yellow color. They're quite like obvious to notice when they're planted around the room. They seem to burn and create quite like a good amount of light though. So like I say, you're not really worried at the minute about being stuck in the dark.
Should we go into the living room?
Let's go the opposite way to the way he went. Let's go to the left.
There seems to be a room to your right and a room to your left, and then a staircase going up, and then a corridor going down.
I want to look in the backpack.
Roger's backpack, sorry. Yeah. As you walk over and take a look, you see there is a lighter in there. Looks like kind of like a Zippo lighter. Definitely not Roger's. And you see just a few more of these candles that seem to be in there. As you pick them up, as you get a good look at them, they don't look store-bought, which kind of strikes you as a bit odd. Like they look kind of almost like handmade.
He's really passionate about this haunted house experience for us, isn't he?
He is.
I mean, I guess maybe this is like when he invites. Normally people invite friends over. Maybe this is his version of that. I don't.
Maybe he made them out of hornet wax.
Oh.
Mm.
I do have candles. I produce some nice white candles. I part of the Link cosplay. Use candles.
We don't need these. Then we can leave us back here. I feel like I don't think we need to annoy him anymore.
Yeah.
Charlotte, you can make me a spooky stuff roll.
Oh yeah.
And Harry, you can make me a science class roll.
Extreme.
Ooh, that's an extreme success. The best version of success.
You are good with the spookies.
Yeah.
What am I rolling? Science?
A science class if you wanted to. Charlotte, as you get a good look at these candles then, knowing your interests outside of, being here in creepy haunted houses, you've heard stories about kind of homemade candles made from kind of like the fat and wax of like newborn babies have like, supernatural qualities. And that fact just kind of rings into your mind as you're like, ooh, it's spooky. And then you're kind of like, wait a minute, Roger wouldn't really do this. So Roger wouldn't have that, though.
So wait, what are they made from?
It reminds you of stories you've read about candles, like wax made from like the fat of like newborn children.
Oh, okay.
And you know that kind of black magic uses a lot of these.
Okay, so I sort of relay that. See, these aren't ordinary candles. I've heard about these. I've read about these in books. This isn't the ones you buy in a shop. I don't know where you would have got these from.
Also, on that extreme success, sorry, just a partner that Harry just got.
You'd
notice that a lot of the extreme successes across the world. You'd notice that a lot of these are made from like animal fat. The wax itself.
I can quite happily chime in then. I think it might be animal fat.
Huh.
Maybe hornets. I don't know.
Is that different to my candle? I like hold up my like normal white candle, which
you're like store bought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your candle is made of like wax, and these are made of like animal fat.
I never knew that. I never knew you could make candles out of animal fat. That's interesting.
I mean, you don't normally because they're, it's weird.
A bit weird,
Yeah.
isn't it?
As if you're doing weird things with candles.
What would you do with that?
Rituals?
Where is Roger
But that's
getting
just
animal
what
fat
I've
from?
read. And yeah, where's he getting these kind of things from?
Does he have a connection with the butchers?
The baker.
A candlestick maker!
Literal candlestick maker.
Also with this, you hear like another door open and slam, and from the stairs, Roger comes back round. You guys haven't even left the entry hall yet. Like, are you going through my bag? And he kind of points at you, Charlotte, as he walks over and he kind of snatches it from you.
Yeah, just have a look, see what supplies you might have hidden a key in there.
God, you are a freak, aren't you? Are you guys gonna do something? Come on.
Where'd you get your candles from?
Yeah, why does your candles look a bit yellow? I don't.
What are you trying to say?
Just yellow candles. They're a bit strange.
I don't know, they're just a bunch of candles over here, right? So
Where'd you
Right,
get
fine.
them from?
found them here and put them up because I'm not going to sit in the dark with you nerds for 4 hours, am I?
Oh, okay, so you found
He
them
doesn't
here.
know where he got them from.
Okay.
Alright, let's go into a room. Where would
Good
we
talk.
go for a key?
Shall we go over?
As you walk through, then you see it looks like kind of like it was originally like a living room or like a parlor, like a tea room. It is filled with dusty chairs and sofas that are kind of split and have there's a sofa that has its middle cushion is missing and it's just you can see its springs. At the southmost corner of the room is a fireplace, and with a carved wooden mantle And on top of the mantle, you can see a battered old, like an old knapsack. Looks like there once was a small fire there. And someone obviously looks like broke a chair and kind of used bits of broken chair in the fireplace to burn. Like there's almost like a lingering smell of soot that hangs in the room as you kind of walk through. And there is a door going to another room.
I will go and like awkwardly pick up that knapsack, and like sort of like drop it onto the floor, like with like the tips of my fingers, so I have to touch it as little as possible, and then like try and open it, have a look inside.
Yeah. Anyone else? You guys doing anything else?
I'm gonna try and look around at the furniture to see if I notice anything which looks like the dust has been moved, like as if.
Make me a notice stuff roll.
Okay. Oh, notice stuff. Got it.
As you're looking kind of around the sofa and kind of this side of like the frontmost of the room, you catch sight of like as you're kind of looking on the right side of the sofa and looking around for stuff, and like it looks like from where the dust has settled, it does look like someone was using this maybe at some point semi recently.
What, the sofa?
Someone maybe like it's not as dusty on the sofa itself.
Ooh, okay.
As you're looking at that though, you suddenly catch sight of something else as you see from behind the sofa something just whip out. Something very small. You don't really catch sight of what it is so much as you hear and see it, as you just see something whip out from behind the sofa and just run, like something like scamper down into the hallway, and you hear it kind of that, and then it's gone again.
Guys, you're not scared of mice, are you?
It was bigger than a mouse, definitely.
Oh, rat size then?
Bigger than that, but around
Bigger
that
than
size.
Okay, I'm just. Well, as a child, I have no idea what else it could be. We haven't got super spooky yet, so I will go. Guys, I hope none of you are scared of rats.
A rodent of unusual size.
It was just, it was bigger than a mouse, probably rat size. I think it was a rat.
A cat?
No. Wait, did it look cat-like?
We'd have heard it if it was a cat.
You didn't really so much see it as you just heard it, and then you like saw like the dash of something leaving the room and running down the corridor.
I could see a cat hanging out here.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if there's cats here, then there must be mice here as well, right? So could be any. Well, there's other things in here, I guess, is a takeaway. So just to be aware.
Meanwhile, while that's going on, Harry, were you saying you were going through the bag?
Yes.
Were you emptying out or like just looking in?
I'll like hold it with like, just my fingertips from the bottom and just sort of tip it and try and
onto the ground.
Yeah.
You see, so out of the knapsack falls a pouch of tobacco and a pack of rolling paper, a small little pocket knife, a little hip flask, and a roll of bills. It's mostly $1 and $5 bills, but it's a fairly hefty stack for. Like there's a fair few bills in there from what you see, and you see a matchbox, and as you fall, it falls out. It falls open. You can see there is chalk in the matchbox.
As I sort of like poke through it, I'll just sort of look over to you and just like, guys.
What have you found? What's that?
Money.
Money. Ooh. Do you think that's? He's got like a stash here? No, he would have.
Why would he bring us into his house if he like? Yeah, he would have hidden his.
I don't think this belongs to Roger.
Okay.
Unless he does hang out here?
Yeah, I'm just gonna like scribble on the ground with the chalk.
Ooh, what are you writing on the ground? What are you gonna put?
I'm gonna do that S thing that everyone did in high school.
Did they do the S in the 80s?
They did now. In my
They do
fantasy
now.
80s, they did. Also, I
First
forgot
one.
to give Rich, on your notice stuff roll, sorry, because you were looking at the sofa.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to mention this, but you definitely would have also spied this because you said you were looking at it. Under the sofa, as you're looking in it, as you kind of see that thing whip about, you spot something sticking out from under the sofa, like a metal rod of some kind.
I saw like a metal thing over here. I might need a hand grabbing it. Sorry, do a bit of a pull to see if I can pull it myself.
It seems snagged, but you give it like a solid tug, and as you pull it out, you see in your hands, you seem to be holding. It looks like an iron fireplace poker.
Oh.
Kind of sharp on one end. It's slightly bent, like it doesn't sit straight and it looks old, but it kind of crooks off to the side slightly. But it's a solid, it has like a solid weight to it.
I'm like, cool. This is better than my plastic sword. Can I trade it off?
It's an iron fireplace poker, and it does 1d6 points of damage.
I'm using that instead of my plastic sword.
Whoa.
It's sharp on one end, but you also get the feeling it might also be good as like a bludgeoning, like something to hit stuff with.
So I put the plastic sword on the floor and just put it I rest it nicely on the sofa because I want to come back for it, but obviously we're in desperate times right now, and any good weapon might be helpful in this situation. So I'm keeping hold of it.
Can I sniff the hip flask, or the contents of the hip flask? Sorry.
You get a good smell, and it stinks of whiskey. Yeah, it's like your little 11-year-old nose is like overwhelmed with just strong old whiskey.
I will audibly and visibly gag.
Oh, what's that?
I'm just gonna stick it under his nose.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, that's. Oh.
What is it?
Smell it. Waving at you.
Isn't it? Oh.
Is that like piss or something? That's grim.
Look visibly shocked at you swearing, like outraged even.
Sorry.
As you're doing all this, you can hear Roger walking back round. What are you guys up to now then? Do before he comes around the corner.
I will hide the money and the hit flask.
I try and hide the poker behind my back.
I assume it's still quite a big poker. You see he kind of peeks through as his head kind of jots around the corner. As he kind of stands there. You nerds aren't going to be here all night, if you go room by room like this, right?
Well, how else are you meant to do this?
Give us a clue.
Give a clue. Look harder.
Oh.
That's a good clue, thank you.
This house is pretty big, You gotta. I mean, I'm just saying, if you guys want to be here all night, that's all right with me. I mean, if you're too afraid, you could beg a little, and maybe I'd let you leave.
I think we've got time.
We'll be fine. It's okay. Don't. It's all good.
Come on then.
Right.
On delay.
Fine. Let's try a different room. I don't think he knows it's French. Is that French?
What'd you say?
Nothing.
That's what I thought.
Shall we go for this other room across here?
But there's a door right here.
Ooh, yeah, there is. Okay.
I want to open this door.
You want to pass through? Yeah.
Yeah.
As you pass through, it opens up into a much bigger living room. Like you thought maybe that was a living room before, but you realise this is definitely that was maybe like a sitting room.
Oh my god, they have two living rooms.
Wow, these guys must have been so rich.
As you open the door, you see this living room is in much better shape than the other two rooms you've seen thus far, and you can see there is a large set of shelves right down at the kind of south of the room. At the far south of the room is a large set of shelves. You can see there are dozens of miniatures and little statuettes on the shelves going across. Foxes, birds, cats, deer, other animals, all made of kind of glass and ceramics. On the highest shelf, you can see a big stuffed cat with kind of glistening grey fur.
I pick up one of the foxes and have the fox and look at it and go, "Ooh, pretty."
Yeah, it's a little porcelain. It's a bit cracked, but looks better condition than anything else you've seen so far.
I pop it back.
Anything else you want to do?
What else did you say there was? There was porcelain animals.
Sorry, so you can see there are porcelain animals and kind of foxes and animals on the shelves. Down at your feet there are like smashed ones, like they're not all good, and you can see like picture frames, but they're all face down, like on the ground in kind of the debris.
Can I dig through the stuff on the floor?
Yeah.
Like, poke around.
Yeah. You can see an old picture frame and you see 4 people, my dad and their 2 kids. But what kind of structure was a little bit odd is that you can see this somewhat happy family, like the picture's been warped from age, but meticulously all of the eyes of each person in the picture have been scratched with X's, like someone has deliberately done this. That's all for our first episode, and I really hope you enjoyed the show. If you made it this far, thank you so much for listening, as this has really been our first delve into this kind of thing. Thank you very much to Kevin MacLeod and Facilian Studios for the music and sound effects used throughout the episode. I'll put links to both their pages down below in the show notes. If you want to support the show, please do follow us on all of our socials. I'll put links to those in the show notes as well, and any support is greatly appreciated. Our plan is to play through the scenario, then switch it up entirely to something new, so comments or suggestions on what systems you'd like to see us play in the future are definitely recommended. See you next time to find out what happens to our group of intrepid explorers as they search deeper into the old Barnaker house. Take care.